Good Erev Shabbos. One of the highlights of this week's parsha is the Kohanic blessing, the three-part blessing that the Kohanim, through Aaron, are commanded to bestow upon the Jewish people in God's name. Interesting thing, in most of God's blessings, it comes a kind of reward, yeah? A reward for keeping the mitzvahs. If you walk in my statutes, I'll provide your rain. The mitzvah of honoring one's parents, the Torah says, "Laman yirichu yamecha," that in order that your days should be extended, honor your parents, live a long life. In the Shema, I shall provide the dew of your land in their times. That's the condition. The mitzvah of tzedakah, the Torah tells us that if a Jew gives a tenth of his money to charity of his income, he can expect God to get 10 times as much back in terms of parnasa, in terms of income over the coming year. But with this Birkas Kahanim, there are no conditions. Every Jew, whoever he or she may be, however one behaves, gets the most special blessings. Yivarechacha, may your property be blessed. Yishmerecha, there should be no robbers that come and disturb you. And the truth is, that we all need blessing. And we need blessing not only when times are demonstrably tough, we need blessing all the time. The word baracha, blessing in Hebrew, literally means drawing down. Everything in life, health, prosperity, joy, wisdom, peace of mind, needs to be drawn down from its potential spiritual state into the actuality of our physical existence. It's there. Spiritually, it's you're fine. Okay, but those problems that we experience in life are basically a matter of kind of blockage in the system. And the fineness that's happening spiritually isn't quite translating and transmitting down to a physical reality. How do we fix that? We give a bracha. We bestow a blessing. Let's say that your friend Chaim is experiencing financial difficulties. So you put an arm around his shoulder and you say, Chaim, may God grant you the money that you need. And if you say those words with sincerity, with warmth and with love and with joy and compassion, you've blessed him. You've cleared up that clogged supply line. You've opened up the flow, just like that. We've all had the experience of hearing somebody else give expression to an idea or to describe a course of action and suddenly realizing, I've been thinking about that all this time myself. But until that guy said it, it was like trapped in the back of my head. Now it's feasible. Now it's real. When you bless somebody, the potential that's been there all along gets made a lot closer to actualization, to reality. Your friend needs the blessings because he's reached the limit of what he can make real of his own spiritual resources. And your caring and your compassion, your love, your joy, your connection to that person makes him an expanded self. That very expansion broadens the channels and unsnarls the lines of communication between soul and body, between heaven and earth. Yeah, it helps if you're a super holy person and, you understand some of the technology involved. But the only thing you really need is a loving heart and a big smile. And this is one of the important conditions of the bracha. The Kohanim recite before they actually give the blessing, they have to say a bracha like any other mitzvah. And that the bracha has to be given with love, because if a kohen is at odds with anybody in the congregation, then he can't be a conduit for their blessing. He can't help widen the conduit for their blessing. There is a sense described in some of the literature that the desire of Hashem to provide these blessings for his children comes specifically from seeing his children being at peace and at one with each other, of caring for each other. And so really that's the only criterion, that's the only magic that's needed is to find it in yourself, to care about the person you're blessing, and to give that blessing out of love. We're now about 100 days before Rosh Hashanah. So I'd like to give you a blessing out of love that, please God, we should all gain early inscription into the book of life for a year of goodness, for a year of health and prosperity, for a year of peace within ourselves, amongst our neighbors, and in the world at large. Shabbat Shalom.